of junior achievement, a JA kid, as I've been told. And I'll never forget, as a 5th grader in a struggling immigrant family, the first real relationship I had with an adult executive was with a junior achievement volunteer. And that relationship has had a profound effect on my life. And so now I'm here to introduce you to Josuel Placencia, who's a junior achievement student, like myself, a JA kid, as I'm told, and his former teacher, Ricky Robertson, who joins us today as well. Thanks for being here, for both of you. You know, we talked a little bit about my struggling immigrant background, but you were raised by a single mom in an immigrant community in Queens. Tell us about some of your struggles.
Yes, it's a story that's all too familiar to many of us in the inner city. My parents came here in the late 80s. I was born in 1995. I grew up in an attic till I moved a couple of years ago. And this roof became the metaphor of much of my life. The room, the social and financial constraints that limit us. And sometimes to kick the door and step out is not easy.
And that's not easy to do alone. Ricky, you have been his teacher from high school, freshman year, to graduating. Tell us a little bit about the caterpillar to butterfly metamorphosis that you saw.
Yeah, he was in my first period algebra class, his first day of high school, and my first year teaching at the high school that we were at. And Josuel was just one of these kids where, when he was starting out, he wasn't the highest performing kid, and he wasn't the lowest. He was just kind of one of those quiet kids who just kind of hides in the middle. And those are actually the kids who sometimes are most at risk for falling through the cracks. So I watched this young man go from this kid who was just kind of like quiet and tagging along with his best friend who was much more louder and boisterous. I remember, I remember that. And then through kind of his participation with JA and different community organizations, and also just being in a high school with a lot of supportive staff and teachers, I watched this young man kind of grow, and I watched you just like develop this confidence and these skills in communication to the point where by, your senior year, I felt like you were a mentor to me in a lot of ways.
That's amazing. So in addition to the job shadowing and the classroom instruction that happens, you're also set up with a mentor whose name is Barry Clotpleff. How did hanging out with him as a 14-year-old affect you?
You look at Barry, I remember the first day that we were matching with mentors. We did interviews. And when I first met him, Barry, he's from a Jewish background. I'm from a Dominican background. His sons graduated college, and I'm trying to get into college. He's a Yankee fan. I'm a Met fan. So it's like we could have only come from two separate points in the earth. But very quickly, from the first day that I stepped into his office, it was just like my world turned upside down.
And it started with baseball, but you developed a very tight relationship.
The first thing, I mean, like many of us, we resort to baseball, but there's a common ground that we all have. And quickly I found out, the love for family, the love for our home. And Barry was a professional, and I wanted to be a professional.
I have a little surprise for you, Joshua, because Barry couldn't be here today, but he had a little message that he wanted to send you.
Hi, Joshua. It's me, Barry. Surprise. I'm here to congratulate you on your appearance on American Graduate Day. They asked me to say a couple of words about you and how I feel about you. When we started, you had a little bit longer hair, you needed to shave once in a while, you needed to work on your language skills a little bit, and you've done all of that. You have cleaned up very nicely, you speak better, you write better, you're the first high school graduate in your family, and you were very ambitious and you're going to achieve a lot in your life. Congratulations on admission to Babson College, and I hope we can get together soon.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? Joshua, how has that relationship with Barry changed your life?
It's just, you just saw a video right now. There is a transformation that goes on because I'm here, I'm the first one trying to do something that no one in my family has achieved, which is go on to higher education and graduate and be successful. Somebody just offers them the support.
And Barry played a big role in that. Tell me a little bit. Some people think, oh, JA, that's a business program. What does financial literacy have to do with what goes on in the classroom and beyond?
Oh, certainly. I mean, as students are preparing for graduation, at 18 years old, 17 years old, they're making decisions around their financial future that can impact the rest of their lives. And so just having that knowledge is just one of the valuable things that JA provides.
Networking skills are among them, as well as the job shadowing. What was it like to follow Barry on the job?
For me, the first time going to an office, when you walk through a building, you don't know what it is if you're just walking by. But you go in and you see what it's all about. And JA was able to give me purpose in school. When I was going in classrooms, math, going into Mr. Robertson's classroom, he was teaching math, but I knew that if I was good in my math class, one day I could be like Barry.
Yeah, that's kind of like a key thing that I see JA providing young people is, and not just JA, any community organization that brings people from the community into the schools, once you have that community around a young person, they start to see things possible for themselves that they never thought were possible. And it kind of gives them this future to live into that can transform the rest of their lives to the point where it's not just about high school graduation anymore. It becomes about what they want for themselves and for their life.
You literally kick down the door of that attic and you're walking by these skyscrapers and finally you're allowed to go inside. What do you want to do with your future now, Joshua?
I'm a rising freshman at Babson College. And right now I'm an intern at the KPMG UN desk. And I have just the whole world in front of me. And I know because I had people like Mr. Robertson. You know, Mr. Robertson is integrity. Barry is integrity and purpose. And they extended their hand and say, Joshua, come with me.
Ricky, you're actually getting emotional.
I'm getting, a little teary-eyed about that, yeah.
What makes you emotional?
Because it's working with young people and seeing the empowerment of young people, and especially people like this where I just see young people open up, and they come from love, and they come from such authenticity, and I honestly believe that in this work and in getting involved with young people, you end up being so contributed to as a human being.
I think that's absolutely right. Joshua, you wanted to send a specific message directly to students, so I want to give you an opportunity to do that. What would you tell the other kids out there who are like you, sitting in an attic, struggling, wondering what their future is going to bring? What would you say to them?
Just a couple years ago, I was in that same position where we are right now. We don't know how to move forward, and we need to understand that we are all creating change. We're all living and breathing, and we're having an impact in our world. But it's up to us to define if the impact is good or it's not. So let's make a good impact. Let's visit our organizations. Let's be involved. Let's understand that the cost of not having an education is higher than having one. So let's make the right decision. Let's be involved.
Joshua,
thank you.
I cannot thank you enough for your words, your thoughts, and for being here today. Both of you are such great ambassadors for junior achievement. And of course, if you're sitting at home wondering how you can help, you